Florida State legend EJ Manuel explains why Cam Ward and your Miami Hurricanes will be successful this season. Take a listen.
South Miami, and I'll start with you, EJ, since you are the resident quarterback, and of course you had Miami spring game, so you got to see Cam Ward in orange and green. What did you like about what you saw and the potential that this Canes offense could have?
I got back in my car after the spring game, and I actually called my dad and said, Miami's going to be very good because of that kid, Cam Ward. And you just saw a couple of the highlights there, just with the arm angles. He never looked like flustered, like the entire day throughout the spring game. And I understand the pass rush is a little different than it actually will be with live bullets, but he knew exactly where to go with the football every single play. And even a late touchdown on like a drag route, that was his third read within the progression. And so when you bring somebody who's had a ton of experience, he's had 3 different stops now, Incarnate Word, Washington, now he's at Miami, with the weapons that Coach Cristobal has put around him. Restrepo is one of the best receivers in this conference. Those 2 guys are going to be on the same page throughout the entire.
Steve, what's your thoughts on that? Do you agree with EJ?
Well, look, for Miami to be the type of team that I think they can be, he has to be a top 5 quarterback and a type of guy that is at least one of the finalists in early December at the New York Athletic Club. You know, a good quarterback can elevate a team to 2 or 3 more wins. A bad one can deflate you to a couple more losses, and I think that's what happened last year. You know, Miami last year, you look at the statistics, they were top 40 on both offense and defense. And I saw a podcast hosted by Bud Elliott. They did a really good job previewing Miami, and they pointed out that when you are top 35 or 40 on both offense and defense, that usually equates to a 9-win team. Last year, Miami won 7, and I kept thinking to myself, we're better than our record indicated. But again, Georgia Tech happened. We had a quarterback that they were afraid of, and I think that really stifled the offensive game plan against North Carolina State. I don't like the way they handled the end of the first half of the Louisville game, which I thought shifted back the momentum. Miami was better than their record indicated, but I think a lot of pressure, Smitty, is on Mario Cristobal to get the hell out of the way. Don't do anything completely illogical. Play modern-day football. And again, I'm going to say this again. He has to be willing to be Ed Orgeron in 2019 and tell Shannon Dawson, you're my Joe Brady. We are running and gunning, and we're going to play at a faster tempo. I do not want to hear Mario Cristobal say this year after a 6-point first half, boy, I just love our physicality. Hey, Coach, I would actually like 31 points. I think it's the most overrated thing right now in football is to establish the run game. No, establish points. That's what Bill Walsh never actually said establish the run. You know that, Smitty? I read a lot of books about Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh always said, you know what I'm going to establish? Points in my offense. And he always said, in terms of running the ball, there's 2 general precepts Bill Walsh had. I'm going to run the ball late after I wear you out to squeeze the game. And I need pass rushers in the fourth quarter because I plan to be ahead by a couple of touchdowns. That's how every game plan was basically based around those precepts. So Miami has some really good edge rushers defensively. Okay, so how do you accentuate their skill set? Easy. Be up by 17 points with about 14 minutes to go. That's how you do it.
Let me ask you this thing. I mean, ask you straight up. Would you be shocked to see Miami in the national title game? Like, do they have the actual talent around them to be in that game?
I think they should be in the playoffs, but do they have the roster of a Georgia or Ohio State at this moment? No. I think Ohio State, if they get serviceable quarterback play from Will Howard, that's the best roster top to bottom. It really is. I look at Ohio State, all they needed is a quarterback to be a little bit better than McCord. I thought McCord last year was a steep downgrade from C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud's on that Ohio State team, Ryan Day would have his first national title. The quarterback's that important. And we'll see if Chip Kelly actually fits what they want to do because they still have some great wide receivers at Ohio State, but they have 2 great running backs. So, and look, Georgia's Georgia. That's a well-run program. Miami should be a top 10-ish type of team. But again, what's the first step of being a good program, Smitty? Win every game you're supposed to. And quite frankly, Miami for about 20 years has not done that.
Nah, that is true, man. You got to establish yourself first. We got to see it. I want to ask you guys this real quick. Do you feel like we're kind of sleeping on Michigan a little bit? Like, obviously, we know Harbaugh left, and I know they won, but these guys are the reigning national champions. They did go undefeated last year. I know they lost a lot, but like no one's talking about Michigan now.
Well, here's the question: who's our quarterback right now, Smitty? Can you name him? Is it Orgy?
I can't name him. I really don't know. Do you know the quarterback?
Yeah, it's that guy Orgy, or that guy that ran like the Wildcat package.
Yeah, or it is Orgy. Yeah.
And so so you lose a.
You sure Orgy's not supposed to be the Pornhub guy?
Well, you know what? That would work perfectly. So now again, we're going to be marketers here. Orgy likes the Pornhub, or whatever his name is. But I'm just telling you, they lost their best running back, Blake Corum. That was an old, experienced team, Smitty.
How many guys got drafted? 13?
Right. So, and now you're going to have a new coach, and I think Harbaugh is elite. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's one of the best coaches for the last 15 years. Just look at his track record.
In all of football. In all of football. Going all the way from USD. I don't know. Look, they have Mason Graham, great defensive tackle. They have a premier cornerback in Will Johnson. But again, you lose the foundation of your team with a new coach. And now you got this loaded Big Ten. Look, I think they're going to be solid and good, but that quarterback position, as limited as they were offensively, look, you lost the guy that went in the first half of the first round. Great tight end, too. A premier tight end. But again, we'll see. I look at them as being about the third or fourth best team in the Big Ten, which is solid. That can get you into the playoffs.
Yes, it can. Nah, it definitely can this year. So